Welcome to STARCARD Podcast. Happy Friday, everybody. My name is Breakaway Ray, believe it or not. I just had some delicious cheesecake, and you have tuned in to a live tarot throw on January 23rd, 2026. Well, it is 5-Card Friday. Let's not stall. Let's go to the tarot cam. That's right. It's 5-Card Friday. It's 5-Card Friday where I am in my time bubble. And from wherever you're watching, whether you're tuning in live or catching this on a recording later, thanks a lot for tuning in and watching. These 5 cards are for you. I want to say the tarot world has been making my head ring a little bit for a little while. So I know it has a special message that rings true just for you when you tune in. 5-Card Friday. Thank you very much, Tarot World. Here we go on 5-Card Friday. Hey, I hope you have a good day. Here we go. End of the work week. Wait, let's get the lights adjusted. We're almost perfect. Perfect enough. Sweet. It's the Two of Wands. The Two of Wands card says you have a good plan. The universe likes your plan. You have the green light. Go for it. All right. You're off to a good start on Friday. Then here's the King of Pentacles. He's the guy that always gets the dodgeball first at recess. Let's read about the King of Pentacles. The King of Pentacles. You are attracting wealth. You are in good business, grounded, stable, and a hard worker. Your hard work is paying off, and you are reaching goals. You are seeing things through to the end and being proud of your achievements. You are enterprising, resourceful, principled, and emotionally and financially secure. All right, way to go. You must have had a good week. You got a good bunch of stuff under your belt. Nice. You advanced the whole organization, whether that be at work or with the family. Card number 3. Oh, how lovely. Right in the middle, we have the Two of Cups. And the Two of Cups reminds me of old television from the 20th century when they would show two people talking on the phone and it would be a split screen. So this indicates, communication between two people, a partnership, and it also could be, a message that you have a connection to the spirit world here. You know what? You did a good job this week because you had a good plan. You're entitled to have a good weekend, I suppose. And now you can shift gears and use your imagination to capitalize on your time off this weekend or whenever you get time off next. And how should you do that? How should you capitalize on that time? I wonder if these two cards have a clue. Well, the Queen of Wands says, be courageous, be determined, and have a zest for life. Again, it sounds like have a good weekend. Nice. And then you have the Three of Wands. And the Three of Wands talks about expansion. And, if you expand just a millimeter a weekend, over many weekends, you have expanded by many millimeters. And that could be in an exponential form. No matter what your plans are, whether it's 3D or 4D or what have you, always look to the future, have long-term goals, have objectives. And then, or at least if you feel like, you're in the middle of the river and the water's kind of choppy, at least you're looking around for a place, where it's going to be a safer voyage perhaps, or where it's the best pass through, because we all have different journeys. All right. Well, I want to say thanks to the Tarot World and thanks for tuning in and happy weekend to you, everybody. All right, cool. Let me give these a shuffle. Oh, great. I see we have a lot of friends in the chat. I'm so happy to see a lot of familiar names in the chat. Thanks a lot for tuning in, everybody. I just want to say again, I'm so grateful and so thankful for the people that tune in. It's great that I can reach out to all the viewers whenever you're viewing it, but especially when you're tuning in now. It's a very nice, fortunate circumstance for me. So thanks a lot for your support, and we'll see how much of your support I have after this show. What's going to happen is that, for the next 25 or 30 minutes, I'm going to leap off with the idea from that thumbnail that I posted of Captain America and a saying that I heard from Reverend Al Sharpton, which is be profound, not profane. I'm going to elaborate on that for a little while and give some examples from my own life and from my own perspective. And when I share these ideas, not everyone has to agree with them. And certainly people can look at me and say, wow, that guy is like way over on the spectrum there. He might have had like a past life as a Puritan, a pilgrim who landed at Plymouth Rock or something. He's a little bit hardcore about, trying to set a good example all the time. Maybe he should let his hair down like he did in college. But nevertheless, I'm going to go ahead and expound on some ideas about being profound and not profane and where it shapes us up as a civilization when we keep that in mind. And that, hopefully, maybe it'll only be about 30 minutes. I tried to make it light. I'll show you what I mean. So if you're new to StarCard Podcast, I don't turn on the camera until I have a plan, and I write those notes down. And a lot of times it looks very organized, but not really today. So once I filled up the paper, I knew I had enough to say, and I needed to cool out. But now, it looks very stream of consciousness, right? So isn't that the fun part? A lot of people tune in to see where my mind wanders on these concepts. Well, maybe there's at least one person out there who agrees with that. So again, I want to say thank you very much. It's as entertaining for me as it is for you. So let's see. Oh, yeah. And then, by the way, in the last part of the show, after my little lecture, okay, then I'm going to check the chat and see who wants a tarot reading. That's right. I'm throwing cards for everyone who's tuning in live. Most people know how it's done. I wrote some notes in the chat at the top, and you just have to type in all capital letters, tarot, please. I can already see we have a lot of people writing in the chat. So again, I encourage you to use capital letters in your tarot request because it's going to be a lot for me to scroll through and check and see. Happy you're all having a good time. So let's get started. We're going to discuss being profound, not profane. And then at that time that I'm done talking about all those ideas, I'm going to take out the tarot cards and invite the tarot world. I guess it's going to be an echo chamber. Basically the echo chamber is, here's what you said, Breakaway Ray, about all these things. Well, we'll see. There's always some kind of magic, right? And there's always some kind of lesson or instruction. I got a lot to learn. Hey, I've only been throwing tarot cards since March. We're all having a good time. Here we go. I'm going to go down here and check my notes. Okay. Got it. All right. So I've already mentioned the two heroes of today's show, the character Captain America from the Marvel movies and Reverend Al Sharpton, who I do believe has a talk show on one of the major cable networks. I really don't know and follow or anything. All I can tell you is maybe 25 years ago or something, I caught him on one of those news shows, and that was exactly what he said. And he said, be profound, not profane. I mean, he said a lot of things, but that thing obviously stuck in my head. So, right on. Thank you very much, Reverend Al Sharpton. We all need to be inspired. And I'm going to try to do a little bit of inspiring myself today. And, again, when someone hears what I have to say and they say, again, you're kind of on the far end of the spectrum, Breakaway Ray. And I'm going to also say, you want someone like me to be way over on the spectrum. And, someone who, for example, has been in the classroom for a long time and, had a duty. And it was like a whole character that you had to, present in order to set a good example for the next adults of our civilization. We're going to take everything and manage everything. We have to help them succeed. So I had to really like inspire myself, right? Can you tell? Anyway, I'm so idealistic. All right. Anyway, let me go back to my notes there. So there's Captain America. I remember like in the Marvel movies, there was like one where they're going to Sokovia at the very beginning of the movie, and then they're all like teasing Captain America about some language that was used, and they were all having fun with it. And I got to be honest with you, so many times I've watched it, I don't follow it. Did someone say something? Like I like have a sensitive ear for that stuff, and I didn't really hear or register like there was like some kind of cuss word used. But anyway, they were teasing Captain America because he always has like, he always uses clean language and he insists upon it, right? Okay, so that led me to the idea of that picture that I showed you, because I actually showed that scene from the Marvel movie to my class, just about every year, because in that scene, Captain America uses the word perimeter. And I needed the kids to get interested about the word perimeter. I was teaching elementary school, 3rd, 4th, 5th grade. And of course, we were studying perimeter and area, and then also volume in the upper grades, right? So in order to get them excited about the word perimeter, and at the time, we got the internet, and I could show it on the computer and put it on the screen. It sounds so archaic now. Of course you can do that, but I was there in my 3.5 decade career when the whole technology changed in the classroom. So there I am. I'm showing the Captain America video, and I try to get ready like to click on the mute button right when the police officer uses the H word, and sometimes I missed because Captain America, he's like jumping out of the street. Police officer's never seen this guy before, and New York City is being invaded by aliens. So anyway, here comes a guy in blue pajamas, and he's giving the police officer orders. And the police officer looks at him and he says, why the hell should I listen to you? And like I paused the video. I'm in the class with the students, and if I don't hit the mute button on time, I pause it. I say, class, I'm sorry that you heard that. I can understand why that police officer said that, because, the city's being invaded by aliens. He's entitled. He's facing the attack, but we don't need to use language like that. And I apologize that you had to hear that. Now, when I said that, I'm quite sure most of the kids were remarking on my point of view more than the word that they probably barely notice because they hear it and use it all the time. Not in my class, though. Because in my class, it got harder as the years went on, as the decades went on. I had a philosophy, which I shared, to try to encourage kids to remember how to use good language. One of the things we would say is if you wouldn't say it to your mom, okay, don't say it at school. You have to always think about, your mom is right here in the classroom with you. She's watching all the things you do. Whatever you do, I'm going to, all I got to do is send an email to your mom, or, in the olden days to say, hey, after school, I just want to wave and say, I got some information for you. I'm going to put a note in the assignment book. Kids hated that. So, but they knew that, that Mr. Breakaway and their parent, there was usually very strong communication. But anyway, I suppose nowadays, I'm not sure it would matter so much. If I suggested to a child, some of them, if you wouldn't say it to your mom, well, they probably would say it to their mom. And anyway, it's not my business. It's not my business. But here at STARCARD Podcast, this is my show. So I'm allowed to use my voice, and I'm going to go ahead and keep on talking about this subject. I'm going to check my notes. Oh, all right. Okay. So now I want to talk about the actor that plays Captain America. It's Chris Evans. And I salute that actor. He's a great actor. From what I understand, he's a good guy. I've never followed him on media or anything. Just from what I know, from what I see, he's a talented and he's a pretty nice guy. And one of the things that I really liked about him is that he, in the character of Captain America, he kept it clean with his mouth. He kept it clean with his mouth. He was, he set a good example. And then I saw some other movies with Chris Evans. Let's see which one I want to talk about first. He was in a movie. He was in a movie with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and that fantastic J.K. somebody. The bald gentleman. He's another great actor. Movie called Red One, right? It was a Santa Claus movie. Santa Claus got kidnapped, right? So anyway, in that movie, Chris Evans played a detective And he played a detective. And I found it kind of foul-mouthed, and I found like it was like unnecessary, for him to say those words. For some reason, I felt like it was like supposed to be appealing to seventh graders or something. I don't know, just to make it real. But I still didn't like it. It wasn't my preference to see Chris Evans do that. And it was a movie about Santa Claus. You got language like that in a movie, with the main actor using that kind of language in a movie about Santa Claus. All right, well, little kids are going to see that movie, not just seventh graders and older, right? Okay, so I wonder, I made this joke to myself before I turned on the camera. They talked about a brain drain, how many brain drains we've had. I'm talking about off-world, when there's like too many smart people, it's time, if they're too smart down here, time to take them off-world and put them to work. Okay, but anyway, I wonder, did they do a brain drain on the script writers? I mean, you don't really need to use that kind of language. And I'm going to illustrate my point in a moment. I'm not done talking about Chris Evans. Yeah, okay. So now I remember Chris Evans also, when he was younger, played Johnny Flame. He was one of the Fantastic Four in the Fantastic Four movies. That was even before Captain America, I believe. And I don't really remember if he actually used many cuss words. If he did, I probably blanked it out of my memory. Again, I don't mind if you tease me about, how clean I like to keep it, but it like hurts my ears to hear that stuff sometimes. Well, actually all the time. I mean, anyway, I got to stay on target, right? So, but the thing is, though, I did see him play the same character in a very clever way. They brought into the movie Wolverine and Deadpool, which I saw just on regular television. If you've already seen the movie, then you know why I had that expression just now. But I'm going to loop back to that part in a minute. So here comes my contrast. How about the actor Chris Pratt, right? Chris Pratt, the guy from the dinosaur movies. Okay, I don't know what kind of language he used there. I wasn't keeping score. Okay, but I noticed even in the Marvel movies when he's like Star-Lord and he's one of the Guardians of the Galaxy, he's not really using a lot of poor, foul language. And then I happened to catch him in a movie called The Tomorrow War that was recent. It's on TV. I don't pay for extra cable, so a lot of the movies I watch are 30 years old all the time. But anyway, I got a bonus, and this movie, which was okay. It was okay, wasn't that great? Okay, but it was called The Tomorrow War. It had Chris Pratt in it, and with all the things going on, that his character was going through, going through time, getting drafted, going through time, fighting aliens and stuff like that. Kept it clean. So, I just want to say, I guess it's a choice. And I want to say congratulations to Chris Pratt. I want to say good for him. And I wonder if, they encouraged Chris Evans, the one who played Captain America. I wonder if they encouraged him to take roles where he would have to use language like that just to make him appeal to, other people who use that kind of language a lot, and, they might always associate Chris Evans as being too much like Breakaway Ray. Watch your language, set a good example, right? Anyway, be profound, not profane. I think I did cover all my ideas here. Let me check it out. Yeah. Well, okay. All right. I didn't finish yet. I'm going to go ahead and say these things, though. And so, hey, everybody. I wonder if you remember seeing the movie Hot Tub Time Machine. The second one. There were a lot of clever things in that movie, like the high five part, where the guys are so lazy that instead of doing the high five, they would just say high five. That was pretty cool. I really liked that line. You know what? They had a lot of funny parts in that movie. And they had another part in the movie that I didn't think that was that funny. And it involved using artificial reality. And that's as far as I want to go with that. Two of the characters in the movie were using artificial reality in front of an audience. And I just want to say this was on regular television. And, when we were growing up in the 70s, I guess, not everything was clean and everything, but, that's kind of like hardcore, just on your regular television. Again, I'm not paying for anything special. that's just the stuff that's out there. And now I'm wondering, is it all to shape our idea that, we shouldn't have high aspirations and, we could just give up and wallow in the gutter. And then, they also have images, of the violence and the unrest around the world. And it's on all the time. Sirens, blue, red. Okay. All the conflict. Anyway, I'm going to turn that off now. So anyway, I like to ask the tarot world about keeping it clean and, having high aspirations. And I bet there's a lot of people out there, especially in the chat right now, who are expressing it even better than me about why it's important, again, to throw light, right? To shine the light. Anyway, I'm going to go now. Is there something else I want to say? Well, okay. So, here's the last part. The last part for me, it was 2024, and this event that happened to me had happened like every year for the last 3 years. So like from, right after we came back to school, after schools were shut down, we came back in 2021 or whatever it was. And, ever since that time, there was it was like you could count on this thing happening. I was a third grade teacher, and I knew that sometime during the year I could count on knowing that this would take place. The third graders would be talking about pornography. All right. Well, things have changed, and whatever we could do to lift things up, I bet the tarot world has an answer for us. So I'm going to go downstairs now. We're going to throw some cards. Let's let the tarot world finish the conversation. The tarot world's more eloquent than I am. I mean, I should have had a High Priestess card out just for a theme, but I did take out this. Here we go. And, yeah, I'm going to throw the Ethereal Bloom deck. And then, again, Puck Elf just noticed, now's a good time to put in your tarot request. Thank you very much, Puck Elf. Good morning. Thanks for joining us. This is awesome. All right, Tarot World. You heard what I had to say, what I had to share about what we see in the media and the words that come out of our mouths and what our children hear. And now we invite you. Yeah. All right, great. You get to finish the conversation. Yeah, right here. Thank you. This is for entertainment purposes only. Thank you very much. Here we go. Wait a minute. The Two of Swords. So before I get into the reading, I should remind everybody, which you probably already know, which is that swords also represent words. That's right. Swords are words. All right. So we have the Two of Swords. We have we have weapons in our hands, and if we don't see what we're doing with them, that would not be safe. So, you know what my grandma always used to say? If you ain't got nothing good to say, don't say nothing at all. Yeah, right on, Grandma. That was a good one. Nice. All right. Then the Lover's card shows up. And, we just talked about, speaking to your mom in a civil and polite and loving way. And I presume that you would do that with anyone with whom you are intimate, right? Because you want to have an elevated kind of relationship, right? And you know what? If that's not your crowd and it's not theirs, then that's everybody's own business. But here at StarCard Podcast, again, we're trying to shine some light. Thank you. Ace of Swords. Now, that's the truth. Hey, you know what? I'm going to get the book on the Ace of Swords. That's a good one. The Ace of Swords. You are about to experience a moment of breakthrough. You have new ideas and new ways of thinking. You are experiencing increased intellectual ability, clarity, and attracting victory, success, and gains. You are ready to grab new opportunities, and you are focused and make rational decisions. Rational decisions and the truth. The Chariot indicates that we're moving in the right direction with this idea in a good way, right? So here's the Three of Pentacles. It's a new beginning for all of us to be aware of what comes out of our mouth. Thoughts are words, and words echo forever. Let's be careful what we create. We are all manifestors. Isn't that correct? Okay. So the Eight of Wands says that there's speed and flight and travel and things happening very quickly. Well, words do come out of our mouths quite quickly, especially you, Breakaway Ray. And then the Nine of Wands, well, yeah, the Nine of Wands is the guy that says we're gearing up for the last stand. And that's kind of like how I hope I think of everything. Is like I always put my best foot forward if I can. I only got one chance to do a good job today, and if this is my last day, I'm going to make it a good one. So let's see if I can review. Let's be careful with our words, especially with the ones that we love and are around in our environment. And I'm including on the internet, everybody. You guys out there in the chat are nice. So that's the truth. Keep going in that direction. Okay. You're constantly building something with your words. It's like magic. So use it like money. Be very careful of how you use your magic. I kind of like the message. I hope you found it entertaining also. Thank you very much, Tarot World. I appreciate your help. How am I doing on time? Oh, that actually ended sooner than I thought. All right. Whoops. So, here we go. Hi, everybody. I saw Salama. Hi, Salama. I saw Missing Time 420. Hey, Missing Time 420. All right. Hey, Puck Elf. I see Puck Elves out there. That's 3 continents right there. That's so awesome. Wow. That's the magic of the future right there, Breakaway Ray. All right, so what I'm doing right now is like I'm going through the ones with names on them already. So let me get them all out here. Missing, like here's Jason's, right? All right, hang on. I got Puck Elves right here. Who else did I see out there? Well, I'm looking for, Namira's out there. I think yeah, there we go. I got Namira. Okay, I need to find Salama. There you are. Got Salama. Hey, Mrs. NW5. Hey, all right. How's it going, Judy? I might have to make one for Judy. No, I made one for Judy. It's like on the back of another one. Hang on. Yeah, I found it. There we go, Judy. Sweet. I love being prepared. Yeah, I got in the mirror already, I think. Let's see. All right, now I'm going to scroll up. I'm like looking for messages in capital letters that might be related to the tarot request. Otherwise, I got confidence that the tarot world knows what you want to talk about. Let me see here. Oh, there's quite a lot to read. I thank you very much for everyone participating in the chat. I do read it after the show. There we go. So I took care of Puck Elf. And all right. So this is what I have so far. I have Judy and Salama. Namira, Puck Elf, and Jason. So those are the ones I'm going to throw for. And you know what else, everybody? I need to go to the kitchen and get a drink. So I'm going to let you enjoy the scenery. Or it looks like you're enjoying each other's company. So don't let me interfere. I'll be right back. Okay, that counts as one of my 3 timeouts. You guys all right? All right. Did I miss anybody? Nope. All right, going downstairs. Here we go. Start with Jason. Okay, so people did not make any particular requests for decks, but that doesn't mean you can't. And also, if you did not want a reading, you could stop me. Anyway, here we go. I'm going to throw for Jason first. Thanks a lot, Jason. There you go. I cut the deck and I got an Ace of Cups for you. Yo, and I got the Fool. Sweet. Oh, these are good cards. All right, Tarot World. Time to show you stuff. How about a fun, inspirational message for Jason, please? Missing time 420. Jason. These cards are for Jason. All right, this is the fun part. All right, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being patient, everybody. Here we go. Wow, Jason, you're styling. It's the Sun card. The Sun card. Positivity, pleasure, happiness, vitality, fun, joy, warmth, celebration, success, rebirth, all is well. And then, I bet you feel like the King of Swords. Head over heart, disciplined, truthful, honest, mental clarity, authority. Or maybe you also have a facet of you that's the knight in shining armor. Here is the Knight of Cups. Creativity, romantic, charm, imagination, beauty, the knight in shining armor, following the heart, Prince Charming, ooh, and proposals. Wow, these are pretty dramatic. Then, speaking of drama, here's the Seven of Swords. Someone's getting away with something. Someone thinks they're getting away with something, but we all see them doing it. Okay. And bam, maybe that was a good thing because here comes the Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups, love, compassion, creativity, new feelings, spirituality, intuition, new baby, proposal, and marriage. Everything's going to be all right. You're totally clear. It's not you, it's them. Okay. You really are the knight in shining armor. They may not see it. And by the way, everything's okay. Everything's groovy. Everything's abundant. You got things going your way. And don't forget, we started over here with the sun card. All right. So we're going to keep the vibration going. Let's close with these two cards. Cool. Well, look at how that happened. I have the moon reversed and Queen of Swords. This one says there's no longer any mystery. And to me, this one says you were right. Someone playing a little Sherlock Holmes here. Did someone get busted? Cool. I wonder what that drama was. You know what? Everything's going to be all right. We were just shining a little light on the subject. No one's getting away with anything with Jason. He sees what's going on in everybody's chat. All right, Jason, way to go. Thanks a lot for inviting me to read. All right, let's see who we got next on deck. Oh, yo, it's Puck Elf. Cool, Puck Elf. I'm going to be throwing 3 cards for you, and I'm going to go old school with the old style. We're unboxing for Puck Elf. This is the Old Style Tarot by Alexander Ray. No relation. See, I knew the tarot world was all excited. You're making my head ring for an hour. All right, here we go. Welcome to the show, Old Style. Nice shuffle. All right, can we please have 3 fun and inspirational cards for Puck Elf? I think that one wanted to come out right there. I mean, well, I'm going to throw 3. You can put that one in the middle. Here we go. 3 cards for Puck Elf. Thanks for tuning in, Puck Elf. First up, it's the 6 of Pentacles, giving and receiving. And on the other side, the Queen of Pentacles, the practical working parent. We should read about the Queen of Pentacles. And you know what else? And I don't know if I'm imagining it, Puck Elf, but it seems like there's almost always a queen around, when Puck Elf tunes in. That's pretty awesome. You probably already have the Queen of Pentacles part memorized. I'm going to go ahead and read it so that I learn it. Here I go. Wow, it's a long one. The Queen of Pentacles. You have high social status, prosperity, success, and financial independence. You are nurturing, practical, and providing financially. You may be a working parent or a female or feminine person in your life who is generous and usually wealthy and charming and has an affinity for the finer things in life. Alongside the motherly attributes, you are also talented in business and execute your plans successfully. You also enjoy making your home welcoming for guests. And that's what I'm thinking about is, that must be really cool on a Friday afternoon to hang out like with Puck Elf and a fun, refreshing beverage, in his front porch area. Anyway, I wish I could salute you. My drink is in the kitchen, Puck Elf. And then here's the card that came out right off the top, and that's the Page of Pentacles. The Page of Pentacles. There's a lot of pentacles here. That's a lot of currency. Check that out. The Page of Pentacles. Good news is coming to you in earthly matters, such as money, business, education, career, property, or health. Be inspired. You are now setting goals, laying foundations, developing a plan, manifesting. You are ambitious and diligent. You decide what you want and you go for it and have excellent future prospects. Yeah, that's probably the primary card. And you're going to see the action when the energy and the cycle of money starts cranking up. And it sounds like everything's going groovy. I hope that was a fun message. Those are nice cards. Those are nice looking cards. Thanks a lot, Puck Elf. All right, let's see who's next. I'm laughing now. Everybody, the camera's on. I'm having a good time now. Here I go. You know who else would like the old style cards? It's Namira. Hey, Namira, let's throw you some cards. Namira likes flowers, and you can see, well, here's some flowers. Well, there's the High Priestess. What a nice card. All right, here we go. These cards are for Namira from Europe. I love it. StarCard Podcast, your home for intercontinental tarot card throwing. These cards are for Namira. Long-time subscriber, Namira. Yeah, cool. Yeah. Oh, you got these guys? All right, I'll throw them out. Why not? I ain't going anywhere in a hurry. I should be going to sleep. All right, here we go, Namira. What? Even the backs of the cards look so beautiful right now. Let's stroll through the garden, shall we? Here we go. The 10 of Swords. Hooray. The hard times are over. Woo. Ouch. That's good news. Yay. The hard times are over and there's new life around. Wink, wink. The 6 of Swords. What a lovely card. So the 6 of Swords talks about being guided from rougher waters to calmer waters by an invisible hand. But I'm sure you noticed, Namira, there's a very matronly, a motherly-like figure in the upper corner cradling a young one, huh? All right. Well, I was just thinking to myself, it's so precious when you get to hold a newborn. It just sends me right to the moon. There's so much mystery in lots of ways with a new one like that around. I don't know why I'm thinking about those things. Here I go. Well, this this guy didn't really need to show up, but here's the devil card. We want to thank him for showing up. He's the guy that says, you know what, you can let it go. You know what, I bet we have like some old routines that we just don't need to worry about anymore, and we can move on to new routines. Sweet. Here's the Emperor. He's in the driver's seat. He's in control. Yep. What's that? Oh, boy. I just want to say, yeah, he's in the driver's seat. He's in control. And then here's a very distant reference. Okay, he's got the thumb power. All right. 1980s. All right, so here we go. The Fool. It's a new beginning. Wow. So, someone's in the driver's seat there, and they're off to a new adventure. And the Queen of Cups. Wow. The Queen of Cups is like the kindergarten teacher. You want to hang around that lady. She's going to make everything all right. She may not be your grandma, but she's got grandma power. And then the 5 of Cups. So what I'm okay. Well, I would like you to look at the image first, and then I'm going to share what it makes me think about. So I see an image of an adult, and looks like he's able to take a little breather there. Okay, maybe he's able to take a little. Yeah, I'll just describe what I see on the card. So this guy's taking a little breather. Thank goodness, the kid looks like he or she is taking a little nap, right? So I imagine there's a lot of. I was never a parent. I worked in the classroom, but there was a schedule. Okay, I didn't have to cook and clean up after them or whatever. So must be hard work being a parent. I salute you, parents. And then catch a nap when you can. All right. I don't know if you like the story in the mirror, but thank you very much. These are beautiful cards. All right, next. You know what? Salama was at the top of the chat. So, Salama, you know, if you're not around, I'm sure you'll catch the recording. I'm going to use this deck to get as much information as I can. All right, Namira, hey, you're welcome. I appreciate your message, Namira. It's great to have you here. So, whoa. So there we go, Salama. We're going to throw that one out first. Yeah, you know what? I just to be on the safe side, I'm going to start over here. Yeah, we're okay. All right. All right, Terror World. We're shifting gears now. We're changing continents. How about a fun, inspirational message for Salama as she's already knee-deep in her weekend. Hope things are going well for Salama. These cards are for her. These cards are for Salama. These cards are for Salama. All right. Hey, it's all for entertainment purposes only. Okay, Salama. So here's the card called the Two of Wands that says, you know what? You have a good plan. Keep focused. The universe likes your plan. Keep it going. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw the Chariot card, you know, again, keeping it going. Yeah. Maybe this is an acknowledgement that you are, the Seven of Wands talks about challenges, and maybe this is an acknowledgement of the challenges that you're facing right now, if you're facing challenges. Oh, wow. And maybe this also might be an energy around, but that doesn't mean that we have to accept it. Here at StarCard Podcast, you know, I like turning these cards upside down. Anyway, it's the Five of Pentacles. These guys feel a little bit isolated. They feel a little left out. They don't have it as good as some other people, but at least they're marching forward in the right direction, no matter the challenges. It's hard not to look back at what was there before. Thank goodness you have this opportunity, you know, even this opportunity for transition, says the Nine of Pentacles. This talks about the fruits of your labor. So I would like to read to you what it says on the Nine of Pentacles card. Maybe it'll offer another clue. Fruits of your labor, rewards, luxury, self-sufficiency, financial independence. You know what? Maybe, you know, we were looking back, but here's the challenges we overcame. There is a period where we're going to feel a little bit like these guys in the Five of Pentacles, but hey, we're doing all right. Things are shaping up here with the Nine of Pentacles. That's nearly double. So the Ten of Swords says it's the end of a painful episode. And I'm going to go ahead and read the Ten of Swords to you. Painful endings, deep wounds, betrayal, failure, collapse, and defeat. Yeah. You know, there's some sports teams, you know, they just have a rough season. And maybe they'll have better luck next season. That's what we're looking for. What we're really looking for is like a clue of where to aim next, right? The Fool says, you know, again, it's a new beginning. And the King of Swords says it couldn't be any truer than that. So I'm going to read to you what it says on these cards. The Fool, new beginnings, possibilities, innocence, spontaneous optimism, trust in life, blind faith, adventure, opportunity, and pleasure. I want to emphasize the word possibilities there. And then with the King of Swords, I see head over heart, disciplined, truthful, honest, mental clarity, and authority. You're keeping it real, and there are opportunities and possibilities if we keep our chin up. Because again, the tough times are over. That's quite an adventure to walk through, though. Good luck, Salama. Thanks a lot for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And thank you, Tarot World. These are great messages. You know, they might be good stories for other people tuning in, too. So I think I see Spiderbite out there. Hey, Spiderbite. All right. I wonder if I even got a schoolhouse or something for Spiderbite. Have I made one for her? Let me check it. Yeah, more friends from Australia? That's crazy. I don't think I have one. I'm just going to make one for Spiderbite. All right. Oh, wow. The light was bad. Oh, you guys didn't get to see it. Sorry. All right. So, as long as you're here, Spiderbite, let's throw you some cards. Hey, Spiderbite, I saw some, you know what? There's so much writing out there. Spiderbite, I'm just happy to see you. Ain't no big deal. There we go, Spiderbite. No, yeah, we got a schoolhouse now. I'm reading the chat. I'm trying to keep up. All right, anyway, great. So let's check out these cards. Have you seen these, Spiderbite? The Ethereal Bloom deck? We're going to throw you some cards. Here we go. These cards are for Spiderbite. I've known Spiderbite since 2024. Or, yeah, 2024. Here we go. There's an extra one here. Hey, all right. 6 of Cups. I was just talking about how long Spiderbite and I have been in digital connection. And the 6 of Cups talks about nostalgia and memories, fond memories. And then there's the 5 of Swords. Well, I think that's more like the atmosphere of, the army at war over ideas. Because we're talking about meeting at the Typical Skeptic podcast, right? Spiderbite would have been in the chat while I was on air hanging out with Rob. So there you go, the story of me and Spiderbite. And for sure, we've been learning together. How about, is this about us, you and I together, Spiderbite? How about that? Yeah, we've been learning together, over at Typical Skeptic podcast and over here at STARCARD. That's great. What am I about to give Spiderbite a trophy or something here? The Hangman kind of says, take a look at things in a different way. Well, let's look at it this way. We're celebrating our relationship. I don't know how many months has it been. What do we give away at the 18th month? But check it out. This guy's celebrating. There's confetti. There's a party going on, and he's looking up. All right, we're having a good time. And then here's the 8 of Cups. And I guess, it's the walk away card. Everything's great, everything's lovely, but eventually we have to click end meeting and end stream. We'll see you next time. But wait, all right, so that's the adventure. How clever is that, the Tarot World? I like this deck. Telling about how Spiderbite and I have been in connection, digital connection, right? But we still got some more cards for Spiderbite. The Ace of Swords and the Death card. Both pretty striking cards. So the Ace of Swords talks about the truth, and the Death card talks about endings, beginnings, and changes and transformations. That's That could be like our mission, the truth is going to change things. Bam, that's a good plan. The truth is going to change things. I'm going to have to write that down. Good thing I'm recording this. The truth is going to change things. Thank you, Spider-Bite, for giving me the idea. The Two of Wands says, that's a good idea. The universe likes your idea. Green light, you go for it. All right, go for it, Spider-Bite. Thanks again for everything. Appreciate your support. Whoops. And I do have Judy left. And if anyone else wants a reading, oh, gee, hey, I saw Salama. Yeah, check this out. Hi, Salama. So good news. These little schoolhouse things. There's one with your name on it, and I already threw cards for you. I believe you were the first one. But again, when you see the recording, you'll see this. I think it was a snow person with your name on it. Okay. So I threw some cards already. I really appreciate you tuning in. Thank you very much. Hope you're having a good weekend. I'm going to go downstairs now and go to the next contestant. All right. I see Spider-Bite's message. Thank you very much, Spider-Bite. That was a good one, huh? Yeah, all right. Hi, Salama. Okay, but here we go. It looks like Judy is my last player. That's right, Salama. It was a snow person, and I believe, again, you were the first ones that we already threw. So it'll be on the recording, and this recording is going to be ending pretty soon if this is the last throw for me, which is fine. All right, so here we go for Judy. Yeah. Well, yeah, we'll go old school here with the Robin Wood for Judy. Hey, Puck Elf, that's a good line. That's funny. All right, but anyway, changing continents. Gonna pay attention to what I'm paying attention to. I'm got my eyes closed now. I'm throwing cards for Judy. Well, thanks, Mrs. NW5, for tuning in for so long, so often. All right. Whoops. Yeah, I'm going to miss you guys when I turn off the camera. Anyway, these cards are for Judy, Mrs. NW5. She was in the chat. Here we go. These cards are for Judy. Fun, inspirational message for Judy, please. Thanks. This is for entertainment purposes only. All right. Here we go, everybody. Bam! It's the Six of Pentacles guy. Ka-ching, giving and receiving, exchange. It's the Page of Swords. This one is worth going to the book for. Oh, I gotta do better with this light. Well, I will in a moment. Page of Swords. Here we go. The Page of Swords. You have plentiful ideas. You are inspired, curious, and a great communicator. Your thirst for knowledge can lead to interesting discoveries. You are quick-witted and inquisitive, direct and truthful, and young at heart. You are speaking out and ready to engage in passionate debates and can't wait to share your message and ideas with others. Right. You're making it happen. You're not waiting for somebody else to make it happen. I mean, who else is going to do it anyway? And no one's going to do it the way you can. So the Four of Swords here talks about meditation. Maybe that's your secret power. It's kind of like, you go behind a curtain, you do your magic, and then you come back out and all the problems are solved. The Wheel of Fortune talks about luck. Could be good luck, could be bad luck. But either way, it could be either way. That's true. The Wheel of Fortune card also talks about fate and destiny. That's just the way you are. You were built for this. Yeah, there's something clever going on here. Nice. And wow, the Temperance card. This guy is so balanced. Everybody, I don't know. Am I the only one who feels like I'm going to fall in the water? Just looking at this guy with 1 foot in the water, because he's got his foot in the water, and it's just in the water, like 50% of his body. He could fall down, but of course he's an angel, so he's got wings. That's kind of like not fair, but I would fall in probably. But anyway, not only do you keep your balance, but your outfit looks great. So you're looking good. You were designed for this. Not everybody sees your wings, okay, but you got them. Okay. Anyway, before I get too carried away, here I go. The Chariot, moving forward, and the Nine of Pentacles, the fruits of your labor card. Again, it's a keep it going. Your message. Here's your magic. You get it all going, and you've got the bright ideas. You make the magic happen because that's the person you are. That's what you were meant to do. And then the universe is saying, keep it going. That's why we're equipping you and providing what you need along the way. Way to go, Judy. All right. Way to go, everybody. I appreciate everybody tuning in. I hope you had a great day. And have a good weekend. We'll try to catch you, before Monday if we can. I see your message, Judy. That's so wonderful. I appreciate it. Yeah, keep it on. Rock on. Cool. Woo. All right. See you later, everybody.